Otherwise, I could just sing, but I don't think anybody wants that. All right, I think I made it. Hopefully this audio is working. Okay. Microphone in place. It's totally professional. So ready to go. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Let me mute the audio. Wow, I'm already behind on comments. That's an awesome problem to have. Mason, yes, I'm going to do requests about singing. I mentioned I had a live mic in the pre-roll or whatever, and it was because of the way that I stream. I couldn't get the audio to pipe through well anyway. So you just got to go old school and listen to my mic, listen to the sounds. But I said I could sing. But yeah, Mason, the only request that people should make is please don't. And that one I will do my best to honor. So anyway, it has been a week. Oh my goodness, has it been a week? I don't know about y'all, but this has just been quite a week. I should check up here just to make sure I didn't miss anything like, hey, Sean, you're not wearing pants. How would you know? The camera doesn't go down that far. I am wearing pants though. Although if you saw, if you saw Linus Sebastian this week when their site got compromised and he was like trying to figure it out in the middle of the night, he has home security cameras in his home and apparently he sleeps with not much clothing on. So anyway, let's see. Running behind some DJ gear. Yeah, no. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, there's a lot of comments. If I miss anything, just let me know. I just saw this. So we're going to highlight that. Congratulations. That's awesome. That's super duper awesome. Congratulations. Yeah, I really like the Linux Plus exam experience. So it's great that you passed. Congrats. That's so cool. I haven't taken the most recent revision of it. I only took it when they first split off from the LPI, when it used to be the same exam as LPIC 1. I was part of the beta test program, but I haven't taken it since it was revised. But I mean, it's similar, it's similar in style, I'm sure. So congrats. That's awesome. So they're not, yeah. I know, Linus. I mean, kudos to Linus for putting like graphics over his nakedness as he was running down the stairs or whatever. I don't know. I just think that was pretty funny, and glad they got their site back. But I mean, those kind of mistakes, it's possible. I was encouraged by his transparency. So good on him for being transparent and not like punishing employees for being human. Right? That's awesome. Are we talking about the? Yeah, so Linus Sebastian, their YouTube channels were hijacked, and they couldn't get it back, and it was because of session tokens, and because a lot of people have access to it, and some of the restrictions that YouTube provides aren't quite strong enough, or tiered enough, or separated enough, and then possibly they hadn't been as diligent about separating out the who has what rights, and so yeah, it was a mess, and they learned a lot, and I'm glad that they were transparent about what went on, because that means I just appreciate that. I appreciate transparency. I think we can all grow from somebody else's mistakes in that way. Yeah, the strawberry icon is what he covered up his nakedness in the intro. See, I'm also hoping that I mean, I gotta think that he's using an internal camera system, that all the stuff is internal, because I mean, I wouldn't want to have in my house security cameras streaming to the cloud. I would want that stored locally, which I mean, that's how my cameras are. I don't have any internal cameras, but all my stuff is stored locally anyway. Glocktor, hello, because I know Glocktor and Resident Alien are the same person. Not calling you out. You actually said that last week on the stream, so I don't feel like I'm compromising your privacy there. So hello. So Glocktor and I each have awesome penguins. I'll talk a little bit about that today. I don't have really a great set of topics. I just wanted to talk nerd stuff. And anyway, so what has happened this week? I guess the Linus Sebastian thing I'd actually forgotten about, but something else happened. I was just chatting with Techno Tim on Twitter about it. If anybody uses GitHub, especially for their job, where you check in and out stuff, I mean, not especially for your job, that's just how I use GitHub the most, using SSH, is I when I write code for my day job, I have to push it to the repository, and then since I write code that I have to use in like 5 different data centers, every computer that I'm on, I have to git pull, that code so that I can implement it there as well. And yeah, this week GitHub changed their SSH key, specifically their RSA key. And if you wanted to like pull or push data, it was pretty scary because it did exactly what it's supposed to do, right? The key had changed, and so your command line tool is like, whoa, 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 whoa. This is a different key. You're not talking to who you think you're talking to. And it freaked me out because either think one of two things, like something is wrong with, well, one of many things, I guess. But, instantly I go to, okay, somebody has compromised, my stuff. And I'm like, oh, crap. And then, no, that didn't really make sense. And somebody has like, poisoned our DNS. So like, I think I'm reaching out to GitHub. Thankfully, SSH keys stop me from pushing our data to some random man in the middle attack kind of thing. But that wasn't it. Then it turned out that it was GitHub. But even then, and this is why I wanted to bring it up, when I, before I accepted the new key and erased my old one, of course, don't do that. Don't just say, oh yeah, new key is fine, because it warns you for a good reason. I wanted to find out what happened. And so I Googled, like GitHub key, and like, the top results are all like, oh, on March 23rd, GitHub replaced their RSA key. And I'm like, oh, cool. And so I looked and I clicked on the link to see like what the story was. And it went to github.blog. And I was like, okay, is that a real site? Because I would have expected blog.github.com so that I could, like mentally like, okay, this is a github.com site. It turns out github.blog is legit, because I had to go to github.com, and then I like went down to the bottom of their page and looked, and they link to github.blog. I'm like, all right, so it's a legit site telling me that, it's a new key anyway. So that was kind of exciting, on top of, it was just the busiest week, and it still isn't working right. I mean, nobody wants to know the nuances of my day job, but there's been recent updates in the network blockchain stuff, and it has caused a lot of frustration and issue, and it still isn't solved. It's better, but it still isn't completely solved. I haven't lost any currency, or I haven't lost anything. It's just I've been up like wee hours of the morning trying to get things working. So anyway, that's how my week has been. That's why I also haven't been able to do videos this week. It's just been a day to night week thing. And then yesterday, my wife and daughters and granddaughter went into the ditch on the way home from trying on a wedding dress. And anyway, the people are talking and I'm already behind. Everybody's just saying hi. Hello, hello, hello. IKO4, hello. This, I should address this. My wife and kids, they're great. So I had 2 of my 3 daughters were in the car, and my wife, and then my granddaughter, 6-month-old granddaughter. It was terrible, terrible roads. And they, slid off into the ditch, and nobody got hurt. The car didn't get damaged either. There was a tow truck that was going by to another wreck, stopped, and managed to pull them out. Of course, the tow truck didn't take insurance, but that's another whole story. They're safe, and they got out. And they ended up getting home, I think, a little after 11 p.m. last night. But yeah, other than tired, everybody is safe and sound, and the baby was doing well. She was super tired and cranky, and my daughter said she didn't sleep well last night, but again, everybody's safe, and even the car wasn't damaged. So all well and good. I just hated it because I wasn't there. And not that my wife isn't perfectly capable of taking care of things. She's, obviously an adult and very capable, but I just, don't want her to have to bear that burden. I wanted to be there and take care of stuff. But anyway, they're all good. They're fine. And yes, so everybody's good, good, good. And are we caught up now? I guess we're caught up. I have not done much. Yeah, Northern Chimp, I agree. That the GitHub thing, I had to really do research, because I wasn't going to just trust a random site with a domain that I wasn't sure of. But thankfully they linked to it on their main page, so it was legit. But anyway, what else has been happening? So like I said, I've been doing my day job from day until literally wee hours of the morning. So I haven't been even much on social media, and I've been working. While I was working though, I also, Glocktor can attest, we both got these. He ordered them as well, and they're a pain in the butt, actually. And the reason they're a pain in the butt to make work is because they were designed, I think I talked about this before, but they were like created back in like 2008. The company went out of business in 2010. And so all of the drivers are using 32-bit, and also all the software is dependent on Python 2. I think they were developed in Python 2.6 at the time. And what are they? That's a really good question. I'll leave this up here and answer. So, and I have the rest of it down here. And I can't demo it right now because I'm in various states of not currently set up, but it's a little animatronic robot. And maybe if I turn it on, it will say hello. I guess it doesn't say hello if it's not. I thought it did. I really thought it said hello. Well, anyway, it has a lot of really cool features. The little wings can flap up and down. The eyelids can close. The beak opens and shuts. And the eyelids are independent, and the eyes light up, and it can spin. It has wheels on the bottom. It can spin around, and it has text-to-speech software. But it's really, really strange how they designed it, because it connects wirelessly with this little guy. This is the dongle. It's not really Wi-Fi. It is 2.4 gigahertz, the connection between here and here, but they are just paired with proprietary 2.4 gigahertz whatever. And then you plug this USB port into the fish's mouth, and then that plugs into your computer as an HID device. And then you can control the thing remotely. Again, the software is a part that makes it really frustrating. I did get it working with an older install of Ubuntu 32-bit, and it's possible to make it work in a 64-bit if you install all the 32-bit libraries, but it's been just a nightmare trying to get it to work. Ultimately, I'm going to try to do the daemon part in a Docker container, like a 32-bit Docker container, spin it up, let it use the USB drive, and then remotely connect to it, via API to actually send stuff. But it's weird how it works, because I know, right? The Penguin using proprietary software. But the weird thing is, so it has text-to-speech software on the computer. And then in order to speak, rather than like have onboard sound processing, it becomes like an ALSA, lib-a sound, I think that's ALSA, device for your computer. So it's like your audio output is this device, and then the software, the text-to-speech software, just plays through your speaker, but your speaker is actually this remote guy. But it's a convoluted setup. But yeah, he looks really, really cool. And it does say hello, make sure the volume slider. Yeah, the volume slider was all the way up. So I don't know. Maybe I broke him. I hope I didn't break him. He usually says hello when you turn him on.
Hello.
Okay, I did have it. I did. But anyway, so yeah, Glocktor is correct. But yeah, it becomes this remote audio device. It's such a weird setup. So it's going to take a lot of work to make it go, but you can still get them. And then the owner who bought all the leftover stock in Amsterdam has a bunch, and he's going to let me give away some on the YouTube channel. But I want to get a repeatable working solution to make them work before we do giveaways. And you can buy them from the site tuxdroids.com right now. Really, really great guy. He's actually in the US right now, which I don't want to share too much, but he's just on vacation. But anyway, it's just really cool. I have a few that I bought. I bought a couple because I wanted to be able to do more than one thing. I might also rip him apart, which will be morbid, but take out his guts and see if I can just connect like the servos for his wings and the LED lights for his eyes and the servos for his eyelids and his mouth and all that, and connect them to like a GPIO board of a Raspberry Pi or maybe an Arduino board. But I'm thinking Raspberry Pi so that it can do the onboard text-to-speech processing, and I can just have one Tux unit, and he will connect himself to the network, so it'll be self-contained. So I might do that. I think that would be kind of cool. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna try because you can spin up 32-bit stuff in a Docker container. So I just want to get like the security's not great, obviously, for an old out-of-date system. But if it's just starting up enough stuff to get the driver working, I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be my goal. What I'm probably going to do first, though, is I did get it working with a 32-bit virtual machine, but I'm probably going to just use like an older machine that I have laying around with BIOS or UEFI in legacy mode that will boot a 32-bit operating system, just so that I can start playing with it, and then work on making it better later. So yeah, that's what's going on there. The speaker only does the speaker pop when the volume, when the battery is dead and the volume is down all the way. Oh yeah, my speaker always sounds weird though. Like the text to speech is awkward, and also the batteries that are in them. I don't know about yours, Glocktor, but mine charges to about 5%, and that's it. So I'm gonna have to replace it. I don't know what kind of batteries are in it. I mean, they're replaceable. There's a screwdriver there. Shall we see? I'll get a screwdriver. Oh dear, almost fell. See, I'm wearing pants. So yeah, I don't know what kind of battery they have in them, but like I said, it would only charge to about 5%, and that doesn't seem great. Yeah, is there a good open source text to speech package? There are a few. I think this one is using, what is the name of it? It's something. Of course it's something, right? I can probably tell you. It is using, I have this stuff all over the place here. It is Acapella. I assume that's an open source package, but it's Acapella is the name of the text to speech engine that it uses. And, it's like a weird proprietary battery pack. Oh, that's weird. Is it snapping? I don't know if you can see. It's like a 4-cell pack in there, but I don't see wires, so I don't know how it is connected either. All right, well, it's not going to be an on-camera thing because I don't have tweezers, and I think that's where we're at next is tweezers or needle nose pliers. So anyway, the AA looking shrink wrap. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And I don't know if there's like a wire connector in there or not, but so they're probably, let's see, 2010. They might be they're probably lithium, right? Yeah, they're probably lithium. I guess they could be nickel metal hydride, or yeah, they could be. They're not NiCad, I wouldn't think, but maybe nickel metal hydride. I don't know. Once I get it out, just see the voltage and pop it in there. And I'll be honest, I probably won't. I'll probably keep it plugged in for the most part anyway, because I don't want to have to keep charging. I don't know. It doesn't seem like the kind of thing where the spinning feature is important enough to have him on battery alone. But that's just me. So anyway. But yeah, Scott, good point too. Yeah, I probably get it right off Alibaba, the exact battery pack probably has like a part number I could literally just look up and order. Am I caught up? Oh, the other thing. So that's what I've been working on. Glocktor and myself both have been working. We actually waited forever for them to arrive. Mine arrived first, which was not fair at all because it was such a busy week. I didn't have time to do stuff. And Glocktor is all like, mine is still in customs. And I felt really bad. But anyway, I'm just putting the screw back in because I don't know how well you know me, but I would totally lose the battery cover and the screw if I don't put it back on there. So I will figure that out later. The other thing, I've only been doing one other thing. So I don't know if you're familiar with these, and it's not on auto focus, but this is just an ESP8266 board. I haven't done a whole lot with them, but they're just so cool, right? They're awesome. And finally, I did something with it. In fact, it was even today that I did something with it. And the thing I did with it is completely ruin it. It almost caught on fire and I burned it up. So this is trash. That's not just, I didn't do it just, for fun. In fact, I'm a little bit bummed that I burned it up, but I burned it up by using an LED strip in WLED. I don't know if anybody's familiar with WLED, but this is just a meter long strip of individually addressable LEDs, and you can install WLED on just cheap little ESP8266 boards. And then here, let me turn it on. I'll show you. And then it doesn't show up on the camera really well. It's a really pretty orange. You can kind of see the reflection on my hand. But all right, where is the come to me browser window? I got to remember the IP address. There's an app for my phone too, but I think it's 157. 157. It is. Okay. So anyway, this is the thing. And then once it's set up, here, can we, when I look all over, I know I look like an idiot, but bear with me. There we go. So this is the software, and you can do all sorts of cool effects. So let's see, the color palette's not used. Yeah. For example, there's all these effects like fireworks. 1D is cool, and so basically, I can't show you the whole thing, and it doesn't show up well, but it simulates fireworks and stuff, and they're really great for just background fun stuff, but also, if you look behind me, that's an LED strip on the wall right there, and my office is mainly lit with LED strips, but I've never had the individually addressable ones before. I've only had like a strip where they're all, I assume, in parallel. Maybe they're not in parallel, but they only do all of them do the same thing. And so that's what lights up this room. So, I could, in a pinch, change the mood lighting in my room. If I go to Home Assistant, office wall, let's see, color. Yeah, so I can change, hopefully it changed in the background there, and I can change the color of my walls and my office to all sorts of fun stuff, but it's just one color at a time. And so that's the thing. I don't know where it was set before. I guess we'll leave it there. But yeah, the individually addressable ones are kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to playing with that. They're a little more pricey, but it's something fun to do with the ESP8266 boards. And yes, they are. Somebody's talked about those 8266 boards are the ones that they do so many things. They're the little boards that will often control a 3D printer. If you get there's I don't remember the name of the brand, but to monitor your home's electricity usage, you can clamp on all the wires. That uses an ESP8266 controller. Lots and lots of devices use them. In fact, a lot of times you can reflash devices that you buy commercially because they're just using ESP8266 boards inside. You can reflash them. A lot of switches and stuff you can reflash to use Tasmoda. I couldn't think of the name, but Tasmoda, so that you it doesn't use the cloud anymore, that sort of a thing. Oh yes, the name of the penguin is TuxDroid, and tuxdroids.com is the site where you can buy the back stock if you want to get one. Again, they're in Amsterdam, so shipping is an issue too. But anyway, I think we're all caught up. I think that's everything that I've done, aside from nonstop work. It's been, and we're still not in the clear, but most of the people are off for the weekend, and so the dev team isn't really around to help me troubleshoot anymore. So I'm just hoping that it's going to go around. Mike, Sarah, have I messed with 3D printing? So no. And I say that with an enormous blinking asterisk. I am going to. Hopefully when we get our tax return, but my tax return has been chosen for manual review and it will take up to 12 weeks and I have to provide them with paperwork that I don't even have, like a K1 to a company that that dissolved 2 years ago and I don't even know how to get that information. So someday I'll get it. And currently what I want to get is the Ender S1 Pro. That's the 3D printer that I currently want to buy. Yeah. Northern Chimp, yes, it does have a Wikipedia page. It's in French. So, yes. And the most recent development for the Tux Droid has been done by a man running a website. And it's all in French. It's not all in French, but it's in French. And a lot of the instructions have been translated, which is nice. But yes. And it's so difficult because a lot of the hardware inside is 32-bit hardware and stuff. So wait, what did that say? I received a message today. Why did that pop up? What even is that? Everybody sees that. I don't even see that on my chat thing. Okay, great job, Restream.io. That was a weird brag to put on the screen. I have the Ender. Oh, good. That's encouraging. I was going to get the Ender 3. Oh, I forget the names now. Neo or something. Oh, the Ender 3 V2 Neo is the one I was going to get, but then somebody suggested I look at the S1 series. And yeah, the S1 Pro seems to be kind of the sweet spot for the things that I would want to know about, but I've never had one. So I'm kind of just guessing based on what other people say, which things will be more important to me. Like the S1 Plus is just larger and that one, that's not as important to me, especially with the price increase. But anyway, the S1 Pro is the one I'm hoping to get. Mason, yeah, thanks. That was a very weird thing for it to pop up, but yeah. Anyway, let's see. CR6 SC is that a different brand? Oh, I know the S1 Pro from Ender does have the filament detection. I know, but anyway, Enders they're all the same, but they're the same parts, but they come with different upgrades, like the different models. They're all kind of interchangeable, but it's what parts do you want pre-installed sort of thing. At least that's my take on it. And the S1 Pro seems to have a nice number of things that seem like wise improvements from the base model or whatever. Mike, I started with an Ender 3 Pro, still use it. Good old workhorse really teaches how to fine tune. Okay. All right. Yeah, like I said, I've never had one. My friend Kyle Rankin has had 3D printers since before people really had 3D printers. And he's had a couple iterations. I don't remember what he has right now. I think what he has now is an Ender 3 something, but I'm not positive. But of course, since he's had them for, over a decade, he knows which parts he wants to upgrade. So what he has probably isn't an off-the-shelf model. It's an off-the-shelf model with improvements that he decided to get. So anyway, it's still a Creality. Okay. I know they have all those different models and stuff, but they mean so little to me. Is that, yeah, so yes, the Amazon wish list, I did change it. It was the version the the Ender 3 version 2 Neo was in my Amazon wish list, but I changed it to the S1 Pro. Again, that's just for my own, so I know which one because I'm very forgetful. Interesting. You've had multiple 3D printers and no Enders. That is interesting. I know they're kind of like the bog standard what most people talk about. Like, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. And the community around them is so big. I think that's probably a boon for the Ender series, is that they are affordable and there's so many out there that people have experience with them. So the S1 Pro does have the filament detection, but I'll say depending on the filament, lightweight PLA currently a little brittle. Oh, it can cause issues. Okay. All right. Again, so I want to be able to have these conversations, but I just have never had a 3D printer. So like, I didn't even know what an extruder was, you know, and it was like, do you want an all metal extruder? I'm like, I don't know. Do I want an all metal extruder? And then it's like, do you want there's like this Teflon tube that has a special name. And like, well, or you could have this tube. And I'm like, I have no idea. You know, that one is nice looking. I like the logo painted on that one. That's about the extent of my knowledge. So hopefully sometime this year that'll change, because I want to do things like, just not to bring this back, but like as an example, this is, you know, just an ESP8266, and with USB power, it can provide up to, well, it limits itself at like 850 milliamps. Supposedly you can put it up to 1,000 milliamps or 1 amp. I assure you, you can't go higher than that or you will burn out your ESP board. But I want to build a little enclosure for this in the base of a little stand-up stick. And I have a diffuser, like a plastic diffuser tube. And so I want to put this in a plastic diffuser tube and have a meter-long device, standalone device, and I'll probably put it like right here or something, like in my office, like maybe a couple of them, just a standalone stick with a diffuser tube, so that it's just something fun in the background. And if I can make it for, you know, cheap and 3D print a little base or something, I think it'll be awesome. So anyway, yeah, I clicked on the wrong one there. Yeah, you know, Dwayne, I always thought they were cool, but I didn't really have a desire for one until I wanted to build like a project. Like I said, like these lights, instead of buying like a GoV light that uses cloud-based stuff, I'm like, I really would like a WLED based, all local controlled, a little like light tube, because I think that'd be cool, right? And then also I want to, and I did mention these before. This is a oh, what is it? The little cards. NFC, near field communication. Yes, NFC. This is an NFC reader writer device that is standalone, and this one uses, I think, an ESP32 to communicate with Home Assistant. So if you scan something, you can have it trigger an action, which is actually really cool. And I want to get some of the boards that are in this, and you can get the little case, and you can 3D print the case. Like, I paid $50 for this, but you can make it for like, you know, probably $15 worth of parts. And if I can print the cases, that'll be cool. So anyway, yeah, I do want to do stuff now. I never really had that desire before, or that need for it. But there's so much stuff to know that I'm just kind of ignorant about it. So anywho, congrats, Glocktor. So poor Glocktor is on poor internet connection, trying to download Debian, and I think doing a network install, which is probably the most efficient way, but still a pain in the butt when you have pokey internet. It makes it really difficult. And Mike, yeah, I believe that it goes deep. I mean, I spent a shameful amount of time sitting in bed reading up about different filament types. I didn't realize that there's so many kinds of filament. And then some of the extruder, and I don't even know if I have the right terminology there, but the right, you know, they can use some filaments and not others. Some get hot enough, some don't get hot enough. And like things like the filament detectors, I don't even know what the significance there is, you know? So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, and I do not think it's plug and play. I don't. I realize that it's like a lot of tinkering, but I mean, I do like, you know, I just burned up an ESP8266 playing around. I just feel like it's it's for a tinkerer. I think they're a lot of fun. And like I said, Kyle has used them forever. He just made a really cool clock that he 3D printed all the case parts for. It's like got an embedded Raspberry Pi, and it's a clock that knits every hour. It creates like a stitch or whatever, and it uses an automatic knitting machine. And so every day it does a full revolution around a scarf. And so from like in an entire year, it will just make a scarf one round of stitches at a time using a stepper motor to make the stitches and stuff. And it was a really cool project, but he had to then learn 3D design as well. Instead of just printing stuff from Thingiverse, he had to learn to design the 3D components, which, you know, was another fun rabbit hole. So yeah, I get it. It's going to be quite an experience. Oh, and yeah, this is exactly it. And that's what Kyle just had to figure out, how to do all the 3D printing. And I don't remember what software he ended up using. He said he had tried a couple, and like there was one of them designed kind of for kids that was pretty great for most things, but he ended up using something else. I don't remember the name of it. And yeah, as far as the different filaments go, yeah, PLA seems to be like the standard, easiest, most flexible. Well, I guess I shouldn't say flexible because flexibility is one of the things that makes things vary, but one of the most user forgivable choices out there. So yeah. Oh yeah, I feel your pain here. I mean, so I'm on Debian right now, like we're streaming from Debian, but it took me weeks to get it to where it worked well, like I really wanted it. And every once in a while it still breaks. Like there was a video upgrade that broke not too long ago. I ended up installing Tesla drivers, and then that didn't work for something, so I'm back to the regular NVIDIA drivers. But yeah, it's a labor of love. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, the whole notion of 3D printing. It's not perfectly plug and play. I think running Linux on the desktop is a lot like that too. But if you like to tinker, hey, you're in good shape. I think he tried Blender. He ended up with some CAD program. I don't remember what exactly. Poor Galactor. Yeah, yeah. And without a solid internet connection, it can be so frustrating too. Oh, so frustrating. My connection here at the house used to be really bad. It's not too bad right now. It still flakes out sometimes. I mean, at my farm, it's gig commercial fiber. It's really great. But here it's just, what's the cable company? Charter, but it's now, Spectrum. So I just have Spectrum cable modem here, but it's pretty solid. It's fine. And it's just residential service. So. Oh, that's not encouraging either, that all PLA is not the same. So yeah, I'll have to play with that. But I saw there's lots of colors and stuff, but there's a really neat project. And I won't be able to find a link without looking like an idiot Googling. Nobody wants to watch me Google. But 3D printing, like there are some multi-color filament, multi-head, whatever to print in colors, but in general, it's like one color at a time at least. But this project where you would just use like white filament and you 3D printed this extra bracket for your device, and then it would program your slicer to take the head up, or the extruder up. Again, I don't know terminology. And it would like pick up a Sharpie of a certain color, and then it would pick it out of the thing and come back down, and it would put down a line of plastic, and then it would come up and grab the marker and then bring it back down and then draw the color on that like layer of plastic, and then put the marker back and then let go of the marker and then print another thing. And it would like color it different colors as it goes up. And it took a lot longer, but it looked just fascinating and kind of cool. I imagine that was a really fun project to do, but I don't know the practicality of it. I gotta think that like Sharpie markers drawing on a thing being held by the head as it just goes around. I don't know. I don't know how accurate it would be, but it looked kind of cool. And that's kind of stuff that'd be fun to play with. Spectrum, we've had it here for a long time. It was fine. Oh, Comcast took over Spectrum. They're big competitors there, and it's so bizarre. with cable companies and their territories. Like, I can't. I mean, you only get one choice here in the U.S. At least you get like one choice, right? I mean, you either get, usually it's either Comcast or Spectrum, and somehow they like have dibs on certain locations, and you can go with other technologies like DSL or whatever the current other stuff is, but cable companies like somehow get territories. It's so bizarre. When we lived in Grand Rapids, which is just a town like 3 or 4 hours south of here, we had to use Comcast because that's all there was. I mean, again, that was the choice when we were down there. Oh, good job, Glocktor. Good job. Congrats. Now you just get multiple feeder filaments to do multiple color prints. So, yeah, this is the part that, and I mean, you just have to be able to, like, but you have to switch often. And I think again, this is me not owning one at all, but I think when you switch colors, like, it has to feed through a lot of filament to clean out the extruder. Like, like have like a waste pile, like we'll squirt it out long enough to make sure that the proper color is in place or whatever. And then it'll, print however many slices of the thing in that color, but then it'll stop, and then you can switch it again and it'll go, and squirt out the remaining stuff. So I think that'd take a long time. And then you have to babysit, right? You have to come back to change the filament colors. So again, I don't know. I imagine at some point it's just going to keep getting better and better and more reliable, and 3D printing will just be like buying a regular inkjet printer from Office Max or something. We're definitely not there yet, though. Let's see. Feels. Yeah, I don't have any options either. So, and I live in a rural area. I said that word pretty well. That's a tough word for me to say. And a lot of times you don't have but one choice. Like when we first bought the farm, literally, not metaphorically, there was not fiber out there. They hadn't put the fiber in yet. And the only broadband connection available was DSL, which doesn't sound bad. DSL is perfectly acceptable, but the maximum throughput was 768K down. Try to browse the internet or do anything remotely productive on 3/4 of a megabit down. It was unusable. And so I ended up getting, at the time, slightly questionable unlimited 4G SIM card, and I bought a modem that allowed me to connect directly to my network, and you could see a T-Mobile tower from our farm, and so I would get about 20 megabit up and down pretty reliably. So it was actually usable, but then fiber came in, and that was a no-brainer. So, anywho. Oh, yeah. Okay, if that's what that's it is. It's rough. 3 megabit up and down. I mean, if you're just browsing the web, I guess it's fine, but even like watching YouTube is probably frustrating at times as well. In the UK, you can pick between 4 and 5 providers. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. Yeah, we don't always have that. And I mean, the US is just enormous geographically too, right? I mean, it's just huge. And especially the rural areas, it's so financially impractical to run the wires and the repeaters and the signal strengtheners and all that stuff for like one house that happens to be, like 5 miles out in the boonies. I mean, a lot of those rural areas here don't even have power for that very reason. And so, yeah, that's where, things like Starlink are going to be fascinating, what that does, and other technologies that follow suit. So we'll see. But yeah, the U.S. is just so enormously large that it makes for some strange situations when you don't live near a population center. So, I'm trying to think what else we could talk about. I talked about all the nerdy stuff. Like I said, it's just been horrible week at work. So hopefully I can do some other video stuff. But I did talk briefly. Did I talk about it here in the live? This seems like the only place I actually talk about stuff. So probably here, the idea of a subathon. Maybe I didn't talk about it here. Maybe I just wrote about it. Sometime in April, I think a subathon would be fun. But I have to come up with a lot of cool stuff, like giving away tux droids, and being able to remotely do stuff. And I think I can. So here's one of the things that. See if this works. Yeah, I'll get to practice with me or try something with me. All right. I think I only have it in this one. Yeah. So it's only here, but let's see if I realize all the like live stream stuff isn't here, but I did this. And does it pop? See, so I can do remote. And I'm probably getting double audio. Sorry about that. So I'll stop it. But I can just, with my phone from anywhere, just quickly take over the stream, I think, which is kind of cool. That I can have a remote cam, and that would be fun. So if I had to go somewhere, I could live stream during the subathon, even if I had to go to the store or something. It would be a lot of fun. One of my kids at church and our science Olympiad teams are going to stay fine. Ooh, that is awesome. That is awesome. Congrats. I hope they do well there. Bite Moose. Yes, that is Mr. Rogers behind me. I'm a big Mr. Rogers fan. Yeah, I just I have nothing but good things to say about Fred Rogers. He is the best of us, and I wish that he was still with us. But yeah, awesome father figure to have. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong button. Yeah, that's Mr. Rogers. Yeah, it's no secret. Fred Rogers is kind of my hero, too. So, is his hero? Yeah, it's my hero. So when I was growing up, I kind of had two father figures. I had a stepdad. That was a bad situation, but Fred Rogers and Jean-Luc Picard. And I know that Jean-Luc Picard is not an actual person. He's played by an actual person, Patrick Stewart, but for some reason, those were the two that I sort of identified as father figures. And I think I could have done a lot worse. So anyway, that's the story of Sean's childhood. Giveaway. Yeah, so that's the thing. A subathon, kind of like a telethon, but you like the idea is subscription. The idea behind a subathon is every time there's a new subscription to like your channel, it increases the clock. And so the more subscriptions that come in, the longer the stream goes. And you can do other things that do that too, like sell merchandise. Like if something sells, like it increases the thing, or, a new Patreon supporter would increase it, like the clock even more. So ideally, the more popular it is, the longer it goes. But yeah, generally it's also, there's a lot of fun stuff like giving away tux droids. That would be one of the things. And I started, like, I could do just entertaining things like draw one of my comics live, or I could have a camera watching me while I create a YouTube, Linux Plus training video. If selling things is something, I could either have my wife make stuff or I don't know, just all that sort of stuff. It has to be entertaining and fun. Otherwise nobody wants to watch. So I'm still planning on stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's going to happen. I hope it happens because I think it would be fun. I have some vacation time to use up, but we don't have the means to actually go on a vacation. So if I can take some days off and have silly fun, that seems like a good thing. And spot stuffies. I could, exactly, and give those away as well. And because I bought a bunch of them. I probably have 100 spot stuffies, like one of these guys. There, not good at backwards finger pointing, but I have some of those. So anyway, Scotty for me. Yeah, that's a good choice too. Not much about Mr. Rogers in the UK. That's interesting, Bite Moose. Shane, I have I watched the first 2 seasons. I have not started watching this season. So as soon as this season is over, and this is the final season, they're done. They're not doing it more. When it's finished, I'll probably binge it, just so I can watch it back to back, instead of doing now I gotta wait for next week or whatever. So I see that it is going now, and I'm excited about it. Oh my goodness, that hurts my heart, Mason. Never heard of Mr. Rogers. Oh. So Mr. Rogers is a children's show host from my youth, and like over 30 years or whatever. But he was the guy who was always like, I like you just the way you are. And he was always kind. He taught kids to be patient, and I don't know. He's just such an incredible human being. He died, I think, in the very early 2000s from stomach cancer. I will find here. Just, do you wanna? I'll get a link to a really good video that another one of my favorite people, John Green, made. Mr. Rogers, when he was doing videos for Mental Floss. Yeah, here it is. All right. Copy link. I'm gonna post it in. Paste. So there. That is a video worth watching about Mr. Rogers, from John Green, who's also a pretty great guy. And yeah, so Dwayne, I hope that it ends well. I gotta think that it was written well, like the third season. I gotta think it's written well. And I keep seeing things like Worf is on it and Riker. They brought a lot of people. I know that Will Wheaton as well. He got to come back as the new Traveler, I guess. So I'm excited to watch season 3, but I haven't started watching it yet. So yes, he was in. I mean, and the things that he did. So back in the 60s, during the height of race issues here in the U.S., there was a lot of places where people of color were not allowed to go into the public swimming pools. Right, they were like whites only swimming pools, and Mr. Rogers, without making a fuss about it. One of the characters on his show, I think he was the mailman. Was he the mailman? Was black, and it was a hot day in the neighborhood. And so he said, "Oh, why don't you come in and sit next to me and take your shoes off, and we'll put our feet in this swimming pool together to cool off." And it was, for kids at the time, it was like, oh, cool. Two of them are cooling off in the pool, but it was a huge issue at the time. A black man and a white man in the pool with their feet together. That was like a huge statement. And yeah, he's just incredible. I couldn't say enough things about Mr. Rogers. He's just so great. So anywho, yeah, he did. He was just kind of awesome. So yeah, this is unfortunate. And I don't remember my childhood. If you're new around here, I had a car accident in 99, and I don't remember anything before March of 99. So I don't remember my childhood, but he's still, oh, thank you, Shade, 7-minute warning. But he still influenced who I became, I hope. If there's good parts of me, it largely probably came from the influence of Mr. Rogers. And yeah, he handled so many things well. He was still around for 9/11, so I think he died in 2003 or something. But the attacks in the towers, and he's the one that reminded kids to look for the helpers. Yeah, just again, I'm gonna gush because he is one of my heroes. So anyway, worth looking up. The final address that he did, was that the one where he had everybody take a moment or a minute of silence? Scott, was that his final? I think it was. It was close to his final one, where he just was up on stage, accepting an award for, I don't even know, like being the most awesome human ever. And he just had us all be silent for a minute. And he said, and I'll keep track of the time, he said, or something. It's just so great. Yeah. I warn you, though, if you start watching him, you'll go down a YouTube rabbit hole in the best possible way. So, the one where he just says, I like you just the way you are. Okay. There's also, so I know we're getting close to the end. So now apparently we're just talking about Mr. Rogers, and that's okay. He had a handicapped boy on the show when he was really young. I'm guessing the boy was maybe 8 years old, maybe 10 years old, in a wheelchair. And Mr. Rogers was himself, just over the top, really incredible with the kid. And the kid felt comfortable and all that stuff. But then when he went on stage in this time where I thought it was his last public address or whatever, he went on stage, and the boy in the wheelchair, who's now a full-grown man, came up on stage, and Fred Rogers instantly knew who it was and like got down and talked to him. He's just the best. So, anywho, I guess that's it. I got nothing else nerdy to say. You want to see my notes for the live stream? It literally just says Tux. I just was going to show off Tux. And then I burned up the ESP8266 because I tried to put too much voltage. No, not too much voltage, in my defense. Too much amperage through the USB port. Because here's the deal. In the original, okay, this is how we're going to finish. We're going to do a nerdy deep dive into the ESP8266. The original boards, or like the pre 1.0, like the Node MCU or whatever they are, version 0.9, the voltage in, or the V in pin, the very first one here, it was directly tied to the USB port. So you could, whatever the USB port could supply, you could pull right off of that voltage in. But the problem was, if you had voltage on that pin and you plugged it into a computer with the micro USB, you would burn out your computer's USB port because you were literally jamming power into it, and that's not how it's designed, because the board is designed to either be powered by the USB port or with the V in, the voltage in 5-volt pin. And so the original ones didn't have any protection. Then it's either version 1.0 or version 1.1, they put a diode in between the USB port and the voltage in. So if you applied the voltage to the voltage in and it was plugged into a computer, it wouldn't backfeed the power into the USB port of the computer. But having that diode there meant that it was no longer just a direct path for power to go from USB to the voltage in, because you can also use the voltage in as a 5-volt source of power for things like LED strips. And so what I did is I tried to pump more than 1 amp through that diode, and it burned up. It burned stuff up. It smelled like burning electronics and then wouldn't boot up anymore. So anyway, now you know more than you ever wanted to know about versioning of the ESP8266 boards. So yeah, Tux mug. So, you know, it's funny. I don't have it. It's downstairs. I actually just finished a cup of coffee, and I thought of you because I was drinking it out of my Tux mug. But it's downstairs. I finished up my coffee, and then I switched to bubbly water. But yeah, it is downstairs. I still use it often. So I thank you again, IKO4, aka Linux guy. So anywho, and I guess we're done. We're about done here, so I guess I'll stop. But yes, can't backfeed. But it also means you can burn it out if you try to use the voltage in pin to get power. And there's probably a better way to... I don't know that I'll use USB power when I make like my faux light stick stuff, but we'll see. It's just fun to play. And with a 3D printer, I could do whatever I wanted if that ever happens. On that note, hey, everybody, thanks for stopping in. Thanks. Somebody on a recent video gave me a super thanks of like $40 or something. And oh my goodness, I didn't even get notification I don't know who it is, so I have to figure out who it was so that I can properly thank them. But if you're watching and you're the person who like sent a super thanks, like $40 or something, thank you so much. That was incredibly kind. Holy cow. And on that note, I don't know your name, so thank you, whoever you are, and I'll follow up the super chat message or the super thanks message with a proper thank you. And yeah, everybody, how do we end? Learn everything, do what you love, and most importantly, as Mr. Rogers would say, be kind. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you on the internets, hopefully with videos this week. Otherwise, in the Discord and all those places. I'll see you around. And now this is the part where I try to stop the stream. I'm going to look so professional, I'm not going to stop looking at the camera the whole time. See you later. Oh, crap. It did a pop-up window. I can't see it.